Welcome back. Today we are checking in with our doctor on call to get answers to some of your health questions. We're pleased to welcome back Dr. Ryan Stanton, an emergency department physician with UK Healthcare. Thank you, Dr. Stanton, for being back with us.
Well, you're welcome.
We've been taking your questions on our website and through email, and not surprisingly, a lot of people want to know about swine flu, the H1N1 vaccines. So we'll start with a question that came to us from Ernest. He says he's 66 years old, gets a flu shot each year, but he wants to know if he should get the H1N1 shot. He also is a triple bypass patient. This brings up a lot of the questions we've had about who should get the shot, who really needs a vaccine.
Ernest asked a great question because we're starting to get the vaccines in now, starting with the nasal type and the shots coming very soon. We have several groups that are up on the top of the list for getting those. Most of all, and first of all, is pregnant women. They're the first ones that are going to be getting this immunizations. The other are those that live with children under 6 months of age. Healthcare workers are going to be on the front line mainly to help prevent the spread. People 6 months through 24 years of age, that seems to be a high likelihood of complications in this group. And those 25 to 64 years old that have chronic medical conditions that put them in the high-risk category, especially those with chronic lung conditions, cancers, HIV, and those sorts of things.
And there's been a lot of an effort from public health officials to stress it's not really a new vaccine. It's formulated the same way that the seasonal flu shot is, just a different strain. And some of the side effects that you could expect from a seasonal flu shot or the flu mist, you expect those to be about the same as well?
Yeah, we're seeing basically what they're doing here is they're taking the ingredients out of the seasonal flu shot and just putting in the vaccine for the H1N1. So it'd be like taking your chili and taking out the red meat and putting in turkey. So the side effects are expected to be the same. So those concerns that we're seeing with the very high Guillain-Barré risk is probably not there. So it's about as safe as the seasonal flu. Not zero in terms of risk, but not really what everybody's afraid of.
So if you know that you are not a good candidate for seasonal flu shots because of allergies, anything like that, certainly check with your physician. Another question we got, this one came from Lisa. I have a nodule on my thyroid spotted a year and a half ago. My doctor told me to keep an eye on it. So far, the labs have been normal. What should I do?
Well, Lisa's got a problem that a lot of people have, and that's just a nodule, a bump, or something that they've noticed on their body that don't know the source and need to know if it's serious or not. The most important thing, first of all, is to get it checked out. You need to go to your doctor, to your primary care physician, and get it looked at. Because if it is something serious, the earlier you catch it, the better. Then keep an eye on it. A lot of these nodules aren't very important. They're not going to cause you a problem. And so just keep an eye on it. If it starts to change, get it reevaluated and re-seen. And that's the most important thing I can stress, is that if you have something like this, just keep an eye on it. If it starts to change or worry you, get it rechecked.
And another question that we got, this one came from Allison. She's been noticing some foot pain around the arch of her feet. It feels like she stepped on a marble or a walnut, and some other people are just talking in the newsroom that have similar symptoms. What's your take on this condition?
We've had 2 consults since I've walked in the building for the same condition, and it's plantar fasciitis. And what that is, there's a band of tissues, you can see behind us, the band of tissue that maintains our arch. It gets inflamed, irritated like any other form of tendinitis, golfer's elbow, pitcher's elbow, those sort of things, and it causes extreme pain. What people can do for this is rest it, ice it, anti-inflammatories, and then it usually will get better. The vast majority get better on their own. It can take a while, up to a year. If it doesn't get better, you need to follow up with an orthopedist or specialist, and sometimes they'll cast it for a couple of weeks, and in worst case scenarios, a boot or even possibly surgery, but that's a very small mix. So the most important thing first is symptomatic care.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for the great answers to those questions. Thank you for your questions. If you have a question for Dr. Stanton, just go to the health section of WTVQ.com. You can submit your questions in the comment section or shoot me an email, and we'll share those with him and hopefully get to answer more of your medical questions, again, with his next segment.